share you an Excel sheet. So the linear search is all about, so basically a container or a array will be given, then it will be populated with some values, then you will be given a key or you will be given an item, and we need to find it out whether it does exist or not. That is what is being the linear search. Correct? This is what is your understanding, right?
Yes, sir.
Is my Excel sheet is visible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Sir, it's stuck
Yes,
on
sir.
Microsoft Excel.
Okay, so it will come. So bear with me for some time. So this is what is the problem that I am seeing in Excel. Okay, so let's assume that this is what is a array has been given. Okay, this is what is the array that has been given. Now you have been asked to do a linear search. So what is the general form? The general term is that, so you will start with the beginning. So you will start with the beginning, then this is what is the way that we will be going ahead, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
This is what is the fashion by which you have written of a linear search. So if I am going to define a function, so let's call this is going to return a bool, and I have written it as search, linear search. There is an array is being given here, the capacity is being given here, and then the item which is also being given here. This is what is the way used to write a linear search. What you used to do for, then here it will define integer I is equal to 0, then you will write for
I less than n I plus plus.
is it being visible? I mean my screen is been, when, or do I need to?
Yes, sir. We can see it.
No, visible, sir.
Okay, so I just zoom it. If it is not, then what you will do, here we need to check if
item equal to ARR of I,
then you will straight away say return to,
return true.
isn't it? Isn't it? Then the
Yes.
close it will be a close here. Then what you will do, you will write something called as return false. Then this is what is being a linear search, isn't it? This is what we have learned so far.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is a kind of a linear search wherein we have done with a forward traversal. So what is a forward traversal? Forward traversal means, so we are starting off with the 0th index, then we are progressing toward the n-1 index. So let's call this is what is being a 0th index, and this is what is going to be the n-1 index. This is what is the way we are being traversing. So currently what this means is that, so we are first checking whether the element exists at the 0th index or not. If that does not exist, we are moving to the first, then we are moving to here, then we are moving here, then lastly we are going to the n-1 index, isn't it? So this is what we can call it as a linear search, which is being working like a forward approach. That means it is starting from the 0th location and moving toward the n-1 location. So is this clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Girl side, do we have any girls in the class? Okay, let me do one thing. Let me figure it out. Because this is going to be interactive classes, so I want all of you to respond. Do we have any girl student in this group or not?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so please respond. Please respond when I am asking any question or if I am asking a confirmation. Respond. Okay. Can we write the linears in such a way so that it will work like this? Can we write the linear sum in such a way so that it has to start from the n minus 1 position, then it has to go 0th location? Is it possible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what changes needs to be done here?
So I should be n minus 1 so that we can, and in the for loop I minus minus so that we can go in the return opposite side.
Okay, so if this is the same thing has to be written here, then what initialization I need to do here? It has to be n minus 1.
Yes, sir.
Then what? This condition has to be changed into what?
So, n less than equal to.
This is what needs to be done, right?
Yes, sir.
It has to be greater than or it has to be equal to also need to be right here, right?
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? So
Yeah.
this is what is the forward manner and this is what is being the reverse manner. Correct? Is this clear to everyone?
Yes,
Is
sir.
this clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let's do like this. Can we do something like this? Growing towards each other. Can we write a linear search in such a way so that it will both of them should grow towards each other? What this means? This means is that so whenever we are going to start this, the first when this has to check here, simultaneously it has to check here. If does not found, then this has to check here and simultaneously this has to check here. If this is does not exist here, then it has to search here and it has to search here. That means both of them are being going towards each other or they are being inching towards each other. Okay. Can we write down a code for it, a code snippet for it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's write it down. Write it down and share me on the WhatsApp group. Share me on the WhatsApp group. So you write it down on a piece of paper, take a snap of it and share me on the WhatsApp group. If the question is not clear, you let me know.
Sir, can you repeat the question?
The question is that, so we have discussed the linear search which is being going from the 0th index to the n minus 1 index. This is what is being the algorithm for it, or this is what is being a code snippet. So this is the code snippet where we have seen that the search is being starting from the n minus 1 index and it is being going towards 0th. So till this point it is clear?
Yes, sir.
Now what we need to do, we need to write a logic in such a way so that both of them should grow towards each other. That means what? When the first time my search has to happen, so you will search with the 0th one, then at simultaneously you need to search at the n minus 1. If at the both places, if the item does not exist, then your forward manner, this is the arrow, has to reach here and this arrow also has to reach here. That means both of them need to go towards each other. Is this clear?
So that means basically we have to check the last item and the first item is equal or not.
Yes, that means both the way it has to look for the existence of an item. When I is equal to 0, it will check this, then it will check this. When I is equal to 1, it will check this and it will check this. When I is equal to 2, it will check this and it will check this. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's write down a code snippet for it.
Sir, I've sent.
You have sent. Very good. The rest of them will copy from you. Let's see. Siprit. Very good. The logic is correct. Okay. But in this case, you have used two variable I and j. Can we do it only using one variable?
Yes, sir. We can
Write it down. Talk less, write more. Okay. Talk less, write more. Write it down and say share a revised screen. The answer is correct, but let's use only one variable. What's your roll number, Siprit?
Sir, 427. 210
527.
Sir, 51427.
This one. Very good. Did I mark it correctly?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
It will fail. Then a small mistake is here. Rectify it.
So n minus I minus 1.
It is not n minus I. It will be what?
N minus I minus 1. Yes.
n minus I minus 1.
Yes, it will be n minus 1 minus I or n minus I minus 1, whichever way. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Very good. Okay, rest. Is it clear to everyone? Rest of the students? The code snippet, what he has said, is it clear to everyone? Or do you need to explain? Roll number 939. Absent. Roll number 491. My video is working or not? Roll number 651.
Sir, roll number 491, sir. You called me, sir.
Okay, so the code which he has said, is it clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, no need of any further discussion.
No, sir.
Sir,
It is applicable to all the class, only few. Does,
sir, what is the prerequisite of this course?
sorry, I could not get you.
Sir, what is the prerequisite of this course, sir?
I have not discussed about the course details yet. I am just trying to find it out where you are now. Okay. The prerequisite for this course is programming in C. A basic programming which you have done it in your first year, first semester. That is what is in the prerequisite, nothing more than that.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Does anybody need any explanation on the solution what your friend has come up with? Yes or no? Okay, so I will presume it is no. All of you know what is a recursion? All of you know what is recursion?
Yes.
Okay, I am writing down. You let me know whether it is recursion or not. I'm done. The code snippet which has been written here, is it a recursion or not?
No, sir.
The code snippet which I have written here, is it a recursion or not?
No, sir, not a recursion.
No, sir.
It is not a recursion. Very good. Is there any international students in this group? Yes, sir. So where are you from? Sir, I am from Nepal. Okay, you can understand Hindi? Yes, sir. Very good. Okay. Now tell me, how many students in this group you are having a CGPA of more than 9.0? Is there anyone in this class is having a CGPA of more than 0? Okay, Priyadarshini is having more than 9. Who else? Or she is the only one? Okay, there are many are there. Okay, very good. Very good. Now those students, is it a recursion or not? So all of you are telling it is not a recursion. Why? Why it is not a recursion?
Sir, a main function cannot be called.
A main function cannot be told. Who told you? Who told you that the main function cannot be called? Okay, let me clarify. This is a recursive function. A function which call itself is being called as a recursion. Okay, but in this recursion function, so it will call indefinite time. That means the program will never come to the termination. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
So any function which is going to call itself is being called as a recursion. Okay, so the recursive function, the basic criteria is that if a function is going to call itself, it is what is been called as a recursion. But to work efficiently, a recursive function going to have two criteria. The first criteria is being called as a base criteria, and the second one is being called as a progressive criteria. Now let's understand what is meant by these two terms. Okay, we have used a factorial function. This factorial program, we have done it in the previous semester. What is the first statement that you used to write? If n is greater than, less than or equal to 0, what you used to write? Return 1, isn't it? Otherwise, what you used to write? This is what is a very simple program on the recursion, isn't it?
Yes.
Isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So the first, this is what is a conditional statement here. It is a conditional statement, or it is what we call it as the criteria. So the criteria A criteria in a recursive function in which the function is being coming out, it is what is being called as a base criteria. Do you remember? Sorry. This is what has been called as a base criteria. So all of you clear what is meant by base criteria? Is the base criteria as a criteria in a recursion is clear to everyone?
No, sir. Can you explain once more, sir?
Okay. So in a recursive function, the function has to terminate at certain point of time. So the function, if the function is going to be terminate, we need to have a statement or we need to justify it with a criteria. So the criteria under which the function is coming to an end is being called as a base criteria. Now is it clear? Now in this function what is being happening? If the value of n is being falling below 0 or equating to 0, then we are explicitly returning a 1. That means the recursive function is coming to an end for a specific value. Is it clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now, there is a second thing which is being called as a progressive criteria. So what is a progressive criteria? The progressive criteria means it is also being another criterion in which the recursive function is going to be called again with a new value. Is this clear? Is this clear or not clear? So let's call, suppose
Yes,
this function has to be called with 5. Then what has been happened? So this function will called up. So when this function is going to be called up, is the same function is being called up with the same value or with a different value?
with a different value.
So the different value is nothing but a new value.
Yes.
So if the factorial 5 has been called, next time what it will call? Next time what it will be called?
With 4.
4.
With 4. So here what is the mistake? It has to be n into something, right?
Yes, sir. N into factor.
N into factorial of n minus 1. So initially what will happen? Initially it will called up with the 5. Then it will be called up with a new value which is being called as 4. Correct? Then it
Yes,
will
sir.
be treated as a new value which is being called as 3, then 2, then 1. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
That means a criteria in which the recursive function is being called up either with a new value or with an older value. This is what is being called as a progressive criteria. So is the two concept clear to everyone on what is a base criteria and what is a progressive criteria?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the question is coming up. How many base criteria a recursive function should have?
Minimum 1.
Minimum 1. Very good. How many minimum progressive criteria it should have? How many minimum progressive criteria a recursive function should have?
1.
It should be also minimum 1, isn't it? Now let's coming up. What if there is no minimum base criteria? What will happen?
Sir, it will be an infinite loop.
Yes, it will be a infinite loop. Am I clear? If the progressive criteria is being with not a new value, what will happen? If the progressive criteria is not being called up with a new value, with the same value it is being called up, what will happen?
So again infinite times.
So it will go infinitely again because there is
It
no
may go infinite time. Okay, so that is why when we are writing of a recursive function, okay, so that means That means there is a need to have a base criteria and a progressive criteria. Is it clear to everyone? Is it clear to girl side? Is it clear? Girl
Yes,
side,
sir.
is it clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The same linear search. Let's write it down with a recursive fashion. Can we do or we can't? The linear search which you have discussed now, down with a recursive fashion. Will it be possible or it is not possible?
It is possible.
It is possible. If it is possible, let's write it down. All of you write it down. Ensure that the parameter is same. Ensure that this parameter is same. The search parameter is being same. So this is what is being a linear search is being, we need to write it down in a recursive fashion. Let's write it down. So the parameter is going to be same, no changes into the parameter. Let's see how many of you are able to do. Is it possible or not possible? Let's try to find out answer to this.
Done.
Whether it is possible or not.
Just say.
With the same signature, is it possible or not?
It is.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Is possible. Okay, very good. Then let's write it down.
Serif sentence.
You have said? Okay. So the bracket who will add?
Yes, sir.
If statement bracket who will add? I will add it.
Oh, in the size.
And second thing, ARR of n, that will throw a error, right? It will go beyond the capacity of the array, correct?
Sir, ARR of n minus 1.
So write down the correct code. And this is also incorrect. The way you have called it up is incorrect. This is also incorrect. Okay, correct it. This is the bracket which you have given. This is incorrect. Okay, this is the code which I have written here. Is this clear? Very good. This one also written correctly. Who is this?
Yes, sir. It's me.
Brighansu.
Yes, sir.
Am I correctly spelling it?
Yes, sir.
What's your roll number?
So, 51663.
51663. कहाँ 51663 तो नहीं है.
So, it's below. Yes, sir. Over there.
This one.
Yes, sir.
Very good.
Thank you, sir.
Then Priyanshu Sinha.
Yes, sir.
Integer call. What you have written at the first one?
Sir, I have taken a variable to
Integer. What is that you have called? Call.
Yes, sir. CA call. So I have taken a variable.
Then you have decremented n minus 1. This does not look good to me. Okay. So the code might be incorrect, but it does not looks good to me because there is just a concept which you are missing out. Priyanshu, there is a concept which you are being missing out. Okay, I will discuss it now itself. Okay. So let's call this is what has been given. So is this clear to everyone? Is this clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Girl side, is this clear to everyone? Girl side, please respond.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
If you are finding difficulties, let me know. We have not started journey into C++. I wanted to judge myself that how good are you in object good in C. That is what I am just trying to figure it out. If it is not clear, please let me know. Okay, so is this clear, both boys and girls? Last time,
Yes, sir.
yes or no? Girl side, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. One more thing. Is it possible to write a recursive function without the new value of it? That means what I mean to say that, so in this case, this becomes your base criteria, this becomes your base criteria, this also becomes your base criteria, and this becomes what? This statement is what?
Progressive criteria.
Progressive criteria.
Criteria. Can we write a progressive criteria without incrementing or decrementing the value? That means, can we call the recursive function in such a way so that the progressive criteria should be called with the same value and it will not result into infinite loop? Is it possible? Is my question clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Can we write a recursive function in such a way so that in the progressive criteria, either we are not going to call the same function with the new value, we are going to call the recursive function with the same value? Okay, is it possible or not possible?
Yes, sir, possible.
Possible. Okay, let's write down the same thing without incrementing or decrementing the n, but it has to run in a appropriate time. It should not run continuously or it should not run indefinitely. Is the question clear?
Yes,
Is
sir.
the question clear? Very good. Go ahead. What needs to be done?
So we can have a global variable, let's say
Very
I
good.
and
We can have a global variable. So let's call not use a global variable.
So
Very
we can
good.
add local variable I till n, and
So you are saying you will add something like this, right? Correct?
yes, sir.
So
And
every time I will be initialized to 0. So how come it will work then?
oh yes, sir.
Every time it will initialize the I to 0, right? So how
Yes,
come
sir.
it
Yes,
will how come it will work?
it has to be
It has to
global.
be global, isn't it? Can we still do it using
Yes,
local
sir.
variable?
if we pass the local variable through the
Correct.
function,
If
then
you
it
can
can.
pass it here, that will work good. But we are not supposed to change the signature. The signature will be remain as it is. Look, we have already solved the problem, isn't it? We have already solved the problem. What we are trying to do? We are still trying to find out whether any optimized approach is available or not.
Yes.
Isn't it? That is what we are being looking for. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So still can we do or cannot? It is not possible.
So I don't think.
You don't think? Very good.
Sir, no, sir.
Girl side, what do you think? कुछ पढ़ाई कर रही है कुछ नहीं? Okay, you meet me at the campus. Okay, Nisita 1910. Are you present in the class?
Yes, sir.
Switch up your camera. Turn on your camera. Turn on your camera. Many students are being leaving the meeting. Okay. Nishita, please do it soon. We have only 1 hour of class. Okay. फर्स्ट ईयर फर्स्ट सेमिस्टर में पहले टर्न ऑन करो.
Sir, I've turned on.
It's not reflecting. First year first semester में how many programs you have written? In first year first semester, how many programs you have written in C? Approximately how many programs you have written? No response. Okay, roll number 1939.
Yes, sir.
Turn on your camera.
Yes, sir.
How many programs you have written in first semester in C?
About 30 to 40. I don't really remember.
Okay, within 50, right?
Yes, sir.
Within 50. Okay. What kind of organization you are looking for the trip in the placement?
What type of organization? What do you
Yes.
mean?
So you are joined computer science and engineering.
Yes, sir.
For the job,
Yes, sir.
isn't it? So in one day you will be landing into final year.
Yes, sir.
Okay. That day will happen after 3 years.
Yes.
Possibly. In the best case, it will be 3 years, right? Or 2 years. Okay. What kind of organization you are looking for as a part of campus placement?
What kind of organization? I don't understand. But like, can you elaborate? What do you mean? What kind of organization?
You know, here we do have day 0, day 1, day 2 companies. Okay. Day 0 means what kind of package they are offering? More than 10 lakhs?
10 lakhs and above. Yes.
10 lakhs and above. The last year in KIT, there are 12 students who got into 52 lakhs.
Yes, sir.
Do you know?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Assume that you are into that. Okay. Let's call you are being one of the candidate who is expected to get 52 lakhs.
Okay.
Okay. You will be traveling to US.
Yes, sir. Probably.
It is not probably, definitely.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now think through. The students who got into 52 lakh salary. Per day they are writing more than 30 codes.
Yes, sir.
If you compare yourself with them, where we need to improve on?
We need to code daily, but in the last semester we didn't have any, like code subjects. So I was out of practice.
You were out of practice.
Yes, I didn't practice writing.
You didn't practice.
I didn't.
You didn't. That means you also forgot about day 0. You be happy with the day 1.
No, sir.
Which will give you 3 lakhs of salary. Again you will take paisa from your papa.
No, sir.
Okay, let's do this. So next class, when you are coming, you all of you brush up C.
Okay.
Okay, all of you brush up C. Now with the kind of a discussion what we have, you must be knowing my expectations.
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? So you may switch off your camera now. Okay, what is the alternative? How can we solve this? The student with whom I am colored with a yellow one. Yes, those two students. Padi and Patra. Is it a way to solve it?
Yes,
sir,
local
by
variable name.
By taking global variable.
Global variable.
If a company is being offering you 25 lakhs, another company is being offering you 15 lakhs, which one you will hold?
25.
25 lakhs. Okay,
yes.
That is what we are being looking for. I am checking whether you are capable enough to get into 25 lakhs of salary or not. What changes needs to be done here? Global variable everyone can tell. Then how you are making yourself difference? What needs to be done here? You know this? All of you know this? All of you know this or no, not?
Yes, sir, it will be just initialized once.
It will initialize only once. Then what needs to be done here? You will write down the steps here. What needs to be done here? What needs to be written here?
N equals n minus 1.
ARR of I double equals to item. Then what you will write? Return true. Isn't it? Then what you will write? If my I has been
return false.
Then what needs to be done here? What needs to be done?
Sir, call the linear search. After incrementing I, calling the linear search again.
Progressive rate.
Okay. So here we are going to do this. Then we'll simply call this. N, right?
Yes, sir.
Is correct? All of you understood? Yes or no?
Yes.
This is the first question which has been asked to the student on the 52 lakh salary. How can we achieve a recursive function without doing incrementing or decrementing operation in a recursive function? This was the first question which has been asked by the 52 lakh salary. Okay, many students answered global variable. Straight away they have rejected him. The student who told take a global variable, they told him that here is the door, open it and enjoy the nature outside. You will get a job, I'm not denying to it, but you may not get a job of 52 lakh salary. Do you know in 52 lakhs, if you compare it to crores, how many crores it is? How many crores is 52 lakhs?
So 0.52.
0.52, isn't it? Even though it does not have a whole number to it, but still it is being treated as a crore, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you are looking at yourself to get into those organizations, the way of writing the program also has to be increased. Make sense?
Sir, what will be the why is the local static better than the global?
Global variable means there is another space will be created. So do you know there is when the dynamic memory allocation in C it has been covered up?
No,
The
sir,
local variable created in stack. A global variable created in another segment in the main memory. So that variable will die only when the program comes to the termination. So why we wanted to keep a variable which is going to be used only in one function, not in other function? Is it clear what I said?
Yes, sir, clear, sir.
Okay, so that means what I intend to say is that when we are going to write out any function, also think from the perspective of a storage. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So tell me where each of you stand. Now we have discussed only 4 to 5 problems, right? We discussed only 4 to 5 problems, correct? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So where we stand, where each of you stand, not from C++ perspective, from the perspective of the art of writing good program, where each of us stand.
Quite low.
Why quite low? These things I learn it in my final year. Okay, like you, I also learned it in the final year when I was doing my BTech. So I also learned it in my final year when I was being rejected by good organization. So that is what I have learned it. Okay, so it is appreciated to those students who are being thinking of something. Let's call global variable. It is not wrong. The concept global variable, but doing it is also correct. Isn't it? So basically what we are trying to do, we are ultimately putting up a thinking hat. So wearing the thinking hat is the first thing to the programming. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so I will start with the C++ in the coming class. So since this is being the initial class, so I do not wanted to straight away jump into C++, rather to check myself that where each of you stand, and based on it I need to drive the classes. Okay, so right now it is 1:54. Yes. I still have 6 more minutes to go. What am I supposed to do for the another 6 minutes?
Sir, could you share the course outcome, please?
I will first discuss with you the course outcome and the course content. I will first discuss with you, then I am going to share with you.
Okay, sir.
Okay, yes, we can discuss one thing. Okay, so since I have 6 more minutes, 5 more minutes. Okay, all of you know the evaluation pattern. So it is your mid semester is 20, 30 is your assessment, I mean the internal sending, so the activity, and then the remaining 50 is your end semester. So let's break up the 30 marks component. Okay, how many assignment you would like to do? Tell me quickly, how many assignments you would like to do? How many assignments you would like to do? One, two, 0, 3, 4. How many assignments?
Sir, 2 or 3.
2 to 3.
If
Okay.
available.
Okay. So we will have 2 number of assignment. One assignment before mid semester and one assignment before end semester. How many number of quizzes we will do?
Sir, one quiz before mid-semester, then one quiz before end semester, I guess.
Very good. Very good. So 2 assignment, 2 quizzes, 4 assignment. This time we need to have minimum 6 number of activities. Okay. What about the remaining 2? What we need to do?
The group projects or projects.
So group project or critical thinking.
Okay. I will discuss about this, but one of the things is that so I will be conducting the class test at any point of time. The class test I am going to conduct it at any point of time. This दिन attendance low है. Whichever day the attendance is low, at that day I will be conducting the class test. Make sense?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Is it a boon or a curse? Whichever day the attendance is low, if I am going to conduct the class day, will you consider it as a boon or will you consider it as a curse?
The curse.
Curse, sir.
क्यों?
So
what if someone is ill?
maybe we are engaged with something, or we were not able to join on that day.
Why? That will happen only once in a year, that is on Feb 14. Right? There is no other day where you will be engaged. So tell me.
Sir.
But what if someone is ill?
There will be?
Sir, COVID-19. Let's say.
COVID-19. You are coming to the campus, right?
Yes, sir.
You all are coming to the campus.
Yes, sir.
Then what is the COVID? The Bhubaneswar is being currently treated as a red zone.
Yes.
In the red zone also you are coming here.
Sir, we want to come. That's also something too.
Okay. So whichever day the attendance is being low, you need to inform me before. Otherwise, I will do the test on the same day.
Okay, sir.
Okay. And girl side. Okay, in the next class, I will choose one class representative. You discuss among yourself and present me a class representative specifically from the girl side because they are not participating in the discussion. Okay. I am done. I am feeling hungry. Can I go?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Obviously.
Sure, sir.
Yes. Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, then thank you very much for joining the first class. So we will again join on the lab. Okay. Before that, I will be sending you the first material of the lab.
Okay, sir.
Sir, lab class also same meet link?
Lab class is also?
The same meet link will join or different?
No. Every day I am going to share you the different link. It will be all on the Google, but I will be sending you the different link. It's not going to be the same link.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.